Ladies and gentlemen, it's another Control Speedpaint, and this time I'm finally introducing you all to the concept of unleashed forms. You all met Scott before, in my first Speedpaint, if you were around then. This time, he's fully mutated in order to wield his powers, and he comes decked out in gear designed to accommodate those changes. When Scott first mutated, the experience was traumatic and a bit painful. His body hadn't adjusted to its new resistances or affinity for Genesis. For almost all Unleashed, the first mutation at the time of the breach was a horrific endeavor that leads to panic and randomly firing off powers they cannot yet fathom having. Scott managed to maintain control and sense long enough to escape the carnage he was quickly surrounded by, but he lost his right forearm in the process, as seen in his previous dormant form concept art. With time, he ventured east across the state, wandering north and south to various towns he felt held promise, and in time needed help. It took him a while to find a mirror intact enough to get a good look at himself in this state. He came to recognize the long, flat nose and mane, not to mention the bush-tipped tail, as clearly leonine features. The fur color, though, was much darker, close to his own hair in dormant form, but also suggesting a bit of panther mixed in. The stripes in his face, arms, and back then, of course, are tiger features. A blend of the three most dangerous felines, with eyes that would shift between his natural blue and the piercing red of his Genesis, the energy that provides his powers, when charged or angered. When he finally came to understand what his powers were, he became a true force to be reckoned with. Armed with the ability of personal space-time dilation, Scott could await a foe's foolish attack, watch them overextend themselves in slow motion, and strike faster than they could defend, with precision such speed rarely allows. The roars granted by his leonine mutations could be amplified and accelerated, becoming shockwaves of raw concussive force. The natural regenerative abilities all Unleashed have are also further accelerated, allowing him to not only heal quickly, but accumulate muscle mass and skeletal durability faster than formerly imagined. As his battles against various roving mobs and lesser tyrants continued, his physical health in Unleashed form developed peak condition, despite severely lacking it in his dormant form. The only downside is that Genesis is a limited resource within his own body, and although easily renewed with time and rest, powers over the laws of physics are costly. It doesn't take him long to be completely drained and left useless in a longer, larger scale encounter. His best options are guerrilla tactics and ending his battles as quickly as possible, lest he be overwhelmed or stalled long enough for his Genesis supply to run dry. Of course, venturing long-term in the post-apocalypse, with a body that rapidly changes between mostly human and having a drastically different leg structure, can be obnoxious. Until he gets his custom gear, Scott has to carry multiple pairs of sandals to ditch when he goes into combat and hopefully, but not always, recover afterwards. Then his story progresses enough to have an R&D team and get a custom combat loadout. And that's what you see here. His new boots are designed with a split sole and a heavily elastic, expanding mesh between the front and back halves. When he unleashes, the arches of his feet will extend with the mutation, and the boots will adjust with him, providing appropriate protection and a little extra oomph in his kicks. The rest is quite simple, nothing special save for being more durable, combat-ready materials often used in the military. The real treat is his right arm. Most of the surviving world is unsure where they could have come from, but whatever experiments caused the breach must have been at least tangentially connected to experiments of a similarly large scale, through location at least, as robotic prosthetics aplenty fell from the sky with the very genesis that mutated 15% of the world, and now those limbs and organs are scattered to the wind. Scott is lucky enough to get his hands on one. How, I will not say, but he does trade that bit of good luck for some vastly unequivocal worse luck. Regardless, the stark white limb is attached, and upon unleashing with it equipped, it turns the same red as his genesis, and the turbine within can be overclocked easily with his powers, providing an interesting twist to his right hook. Scott may seem to be vastly powerful as an Unleashed, which he may be, but there is a large difference between powerful and Apex. The abilities of Unleashed in general are not fully understood or explored, but forces beyond his or anyone's imagining are out there, waiting, watching. Although Scott is the inquisitive sort, and has powers most would think difficult to match, he could and will come to regret uncovering certain truths of this new Earth, and of the universe as a whole. The advent of the Unleashed is a step towards uncovering the greater nature of existence, and Scott will one day find himself dwarfed by the enormity of the threats bearing down on him and his world. May he and his comrades find the truth of themselves and their powers in time to combat it. Well, there he is. Scott's Unleashed form in all its glory. I had a lot of fun designing this one. The energy effects were a bit simpler than I expected them to be to make. I guess I've gotten a lot better at lighting than I thought. But, for now, you can expect another 2 control speed paints before I give you another Unleashed form. I'll be introducing the dormant forms of a couple more characters first next month. So, for now, this is Envoy of Kairos signing out, and I'll see you guys in another 2 weeks for the next fandom speed paint. This time, my version of Izuku Midoriya from my fanfic Henshin Hero Academia. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this one. Later. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're looking to support me a little further, maybe get some bonus content, or just keep up with me and other fans, you can find links down in the description leading to my Patreon, my Discord, and my Twitter. And, if you're following me on Patreon, then you can expect some content polls to decide what's coming up on the channel yet. A little bit of background additions to some other series I've been working on, some more original and creative stuff. And who knows, if enough of you start supporting me soon, I might have a few other surprises up my sleeve too. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again on the next video.